I don't want him to leave. I don't think any true Mets fan wants Pete Alonso to leave, but what have we won with him? And if him and his agent want to play hardball again, the Mets cannot let that hold up their entire offseason.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
It's hard to imagine the Mets without Pete Alonso wearing the orange and blue, but the Mets are now in a second straight offseason where he is a free agent, and it sounds like the market's going to be a lot kinder to him this winter. So in the case that the Mets do lose Pete Alonso to free agency this year, we're going to get creative today. Here are 3 ways that the Mets can try to replace Pete Alonso's production in 2026. Guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel. You know this is the place for all the latest news regarding the Mets offseason. We're doing our free agent previews right now and so much more. Leave this video a like. And I want to hear from you guys. Go ahead, tell me in the comments down below, how would you try to replace Pete Alonso if he does leave the Mets this offseason? So Josh Naylor just signed a deal to re-up with the Mariners. A lot of people wondering, how does that affect Pete Alonso's contract? I really don't think it does. But we also know that Naylor was one of the potential replacement plans if Pete does leave in free agency, so we have to eliminate him off the board. But with that out of the way, here is option number 1. The Mets sign Alex Bregman and Kaz Okamoto. Look, the Mets need to replace 38 home runs from Pete Alonso, but they don't necessarily need to do it all with one guy. Bregman opted out of his deal with Boston after hitting 18 homers in 114 games this year. He put up an 821 OPS, lower than Pete's, but not by too much. He also brings great defense at third base, just a year removed from winning a Gold Glove, and even though Brett Beatty had positive metrics over there, he didn't really pass the eye test, at least for me. I've said it before, even if Pete does come back to the Mets, I still want them to pursue Alex Bregman this offseason. He's a winning veteran player that will improve the entire infield defense. If Pete and Bregman are on this team, I'm going to put Brett Beatty at first base more often while Alonso DHs. But in the case that Pete does walk, the Mets also could sign Kaz Okamoto. The Japanese slugger has quietly been one of the best players in the Nippon League, and while a lot of hype is on Murakami, Okamoto seems like the safer bet with a ceiling that's not that much lower. He's hit a career 248 homers during his career and has been one of the best pure hitters in the league since debuting in 2015. And even better, Okamoto can play both corner infield positions. He's played 60% of his career at third base, but has seen plenty of time at first, winning a Gold Glove at both of them. Bregman and Okamoto could combine to hit more than 40 home runs together, give the Mets a better infield defense, and the luxury of putting Brett Beatty at second base, putting him at the DH spot, or dangling him in a potential trade this offseason. The second way that the Mets can replace Pete Alonso's production this offseason, go sign Kyle Tucker. There are 2 things that we have learned this offseason. Number 1, the Mets want to improve defensively. And number 2, the Mets are at least talking about trading Brandon Nimmo. The Mets aren't linked to Tucker after having just signed Soto last offseason, but this could be a win-win-win all around. He had his ups and downs in his lone year with the Cubs, finished with 22 homers and drove in 73 runs in 136 games. He was an all-star for the 4th consecutive year and won his 2nd Silver Slugger award. He's not the same power home run bat as Pete, but still produces at the same level offensively. He's got a better career OPS than Pete, and most importantly, the defense. Even though he hit 16 less homers and drove in 50 fewer runs than Pete, Tucker still edged him in wins above replacement at 4.6 this year. The Mets are afraid to commit a long-term deal to Pete Alonso, whether it's because of his age, his defensive shortcomings. Well, here you go. Here's a 28-year-old outfielder that's won Gold Gloves and is one of the better sticks in the game. But this is all contingent on a couple of factors. Number 1, the Mets either need to trade Brandon Nimmo or move him to first base or DH. The smartest move from there would be to put Tucker in right field where he's excellent, and then put Juan Soto in left field where he'd be much better suited than trying to patrol right center field and Citi Field. The money's going to be huge. I don't see the Mets dipping their toes into those waters, especially with all the other things that they need to fall in place, but it makes sense if the Mets are just willing to change. And finally, option number 3, sign Cody Bellinger. This is the most clear and obvious choice. The Mets and Bellinger are a match made in heaven. They have needs in the outfield for a potential placeholder in center until Carson Bench is ready. And at first, even if Pete does return to the team, as the Mets hope he'll DH more often, Bellinger fits those to a T. He spent time in all 3 outfield positions and came up as a first baseman. He hit 29 bombs this past year with the Yankees, drove in 98 runs, hit 25 doubles, and 813 OPS. Bellinger's WAR was nearly 2 full wins higher than Pete's, thanks in in large part to his defensive contributions. The Mets could put Bellinger in center field until Benj is ready. They could put him in left field, right field if they want to move Juan Soto off of there, or of course just put him at first base in the case that Pete leaves. One thing about Bellinger though that you just cannot ignore are his home road splits from this past year. He slashed 302, 365, and 544 at Yankee Stadium. That's a 909 OPS, but on the road slashed just 241, 301, and 414, a 715 OPS. It'd be foolish to believe Bellinger's going to put up the same numbers playing half his games at Citi Field as he did at the bandbox in the Bronx this year. But with Bellinger starting the year in center, Brett Beatty playing first, and seeing where Ryan Clifford and Carson Benj are by midseason, the Mets may have a good enough formula to get close to Pete's production, improve defensively, and keep a path for the young guys to come up. So guys, option 1, 2, or 3, which do you like the most? Which of these do you hate the most? I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave this video a like and stay tuned for my video coming out later this week, how the Mets can acquire Joe Ryan from the Minnesota Twins. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to keep it here on the channel for all the latest news and rumors regarding the Mets offseason all winter long. That's going to do it for now, guys. Until next time, though, I'm Tony Metro. Stay true to the orange and blue.